While the Pacers continue to foul Shaquille O'Neal, we're ready for baseball on a Saturday afternoon, a warm, muggy day here at Yankee Stadium. The starting lineup for the New York Mets. They lead it off with a rookie, Jason Tyner in left field. Derek Bell bats second and right. Edgardo Alfonzo, one of the best players in the league, hits third and second. The DH is Piazza. What a night he had last night. What a interleague series year by year he's had against the Yankees. Todd Zeile bats fifth against the left-hander. Then Robin Ventura. Jay Payton is in center. Todd Pratt catches. And Kurt Abbott is the shortstop batting ninth. We look at the Yankees defensively. No real surprises except that Paul O'Neill is on the bench with regard to the defense. He's the DH today, and Shane Spencer is out in right field. Wilson Delgado, another start at second base. Chuck Knobloch still day-to-day with that strained left forearm. They're going to wait for the end of the weekend before they make a decision as to whether he goes on the disabled list or not. And on the mound, right in the center of all those names, the left-hander, Andy Pettitte.
Andy Pettitte 5-2 on the year. He has won 3 in a row. His last outing against the Atlanta Braves last Sunday. The Yankees won that game 7-6. Mariano Rivera pitching the last 2 innings against the Braves. But Andy Pettitte has turned into the stopper for the Yankees right now. The reasons? He is working faster, his sinker outside the right-handed batters more effective, and he's mixing up his pitches, working on the changeup, getting his curveball over. He used to throw that cutter, and Yankee hitters last night looking for that cutter off Al Leiter, but very ineffective. Leiter with a strong performance for Bobby Valentine and his Mets.
The broadcast also available in Spanish by utilizing the SAP button on your television. I think they're waiting for us. What are they waiting for? Why have we not started this game? Jason Tyner will lead it off. Andy Pettitte is waiting, and no idea why they are standing by waiting. If it's for us, we thank them very much. Tell them that they're now late. Is it so wrong, Tim? Is it so wrong for these players to admit that these games are special? I think we talk about this year after year, but they go so far to go the other way and say it's just another game. It isn't. It's the Mets and Yankees, and it's Fox, and it's the first pitch, and it's a strike from Andy Pettitte. Tyner, then Bell, then Alfonzo for the Mets, who won here last night 12-2. A ball and a strike.
It's certainly not wrong for Jason Tyner to admit that it's a special game. He had never been to Yankee Stadium before last night. Seems that the Mets are showing their enthusiasm about interleague play against the Yankees more than the Yankees have been showing their enthusiasm.
And I think they take that directive from Joe Torre. Look at Jason Tyner, and he was a Mets first pick in the '98 draft, and here he is in the big leagues at the age of 23, having a terrific start to the season in the International League with Norfolk. A ball and 2 strikes. Tyner leading off against Pettitte. Oops. Can I do that over again?
That is not to say, by the way, that enthusiasm wins baseball games. But I think the Mets are more starstruck about being in Yankee Stadium and have more players in that condition than, of course, the Yankees do.
That slashed foul into the seats, a dangerous foul ball. It's almost like the Yankees regard this series as a nuisance. And Joe Torre goes so far the opposite way to say, I can't wait for this weekend series against the Mets because then it's going to be over. They look at this series with such dread, I think, because of the headaches that it presents on a daily basis here at Yankee Stadium. This place is the Bronx Zoo for good reason. And when the Mets come here to play the Yankees, it becomes even more of a logistical headache.
You can see the Yankee outfield playing Jason Tyner like a right-handed pull hitter for good reason.
I think the reason was laid out for the Yankees in his first at bat here last night when he lashed a double into left center field over the head of Bernie Williams. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He's battling Pettitte, trying to get on to start the day, and that won't do the trick. Delgado, 1 away. But I think it's a good point. I think the Mets are a little starstruck being here at Yankee Stadium. They have the juices flowing. And I'm I'm sure the Yankees, when you get right down to it, individually get up a little more for these games against the Mets, but publicly the statements that they make, they just try so hard to play it cool. Derek Bell now batting second, the right fielder. Last night had a breakout game before he started his evening, in which he was 3 out of 4 with a home run and 5 RBIs. He had been 5, make it 4 of his last 54 with no runs batted in.
He had as many hits in last night's game as he had in the previous 3 weeks for the Mets.
The slump started on May 21st. He was hitting .360. His average at .302. And he checks on the left side. You know who's there. Cheater has to hurry. Good play. 2 out.
Derek has to wait for the hop to develop. Consequently, a close play at first base.
So with 2 out, nobody on, Edgardo Alfonzo stands in. Because so many people say he's underrated, he's about to get all the credit that he finally deserves. Everybody calls him the most underrated player in the league, if not baseball. Anytime a guy puts a headset over his ears and talks into a microphone, then now finally people are recognizing how good he is. 7th in the league with that .350 average. So good defensively, whether you put him at third, second, short, whatever. Great hands. The 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes.
His being underrated is overrated.
You look at what he has done, the silent superstar, if you will, this season, leading the Mets in RBIs, hits, and runs. As I mentioned, 7th in the league, hitting .350. 2 balls, no strikes. That caught the corner. Edgardo Alfonzo trying to keep this first half inning open with Piazza waiting on deck. 3-1. Piazza, who lights up when the spotlight hits him. He knows what to do, and he's done it against the Yankees time and time again. The 3-1, full count.
Alfonzo, as the starting Mets second baseman, is the second best third baseman in the National League. The best is his teammate Robin Ventura. Almost winning Gold Gloves at 2 positions.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Let's listen to this big Yankee Stadium crowd. We'll do it again. This crowd can't wait to erupt. No matter who you're rooting for, and that's the beauty of this interleague series with the Mets and the Yankees. They pack in here as they do every time these 2 teams meet. Again, a 3-2 pitch coming. Base hit. Alfonzo right back up the middle, and the inning does continue for Piazza. Last night, Mike Piazza struck out in his first at bat against Roger Clemens. Next time up, bases loaded, he didn't miss. th career grand slam, his 3rd home run against Roger Clemens. And it looked like, even though it was early at that point, that the game was over right then and there. As Strike is on the inside corner. A 12-2 final as Piazza, Alfonzo, and Bell all went deep. Leiter over Clemens. One ball, 1 strike. What's he done in his career against the Yankees? We talked about it. Now we show it to you. .385 average, 4 home runs, 14 RBIs, and he's done well against Clemens.
That was better.
That was much better.
Thank you.
I thought you had spotted a mistake and you were crossing it out. The 1-1. Inside, inside, inside. 2 balls and a strike.
This is considered a road game for the Mets, even though they had to just cross the river to the Bronx. Mike Piazza, a .463 hitter on the road, leads all major leaguers so far this year.
The 2-1.
Piazza, a very good low ball hitter. You can get him right around the belt. Thought that ball initially was a little higher than it was, but Andy Pettitte tied him up.
Again, the crowd on a 2-2 pitch. And that's something that these Met base runners will have to pay attention to. Andy Pettitte, 51 pickoffs in his career.
That leads all major league pitchers. He has been called for 2 balks this year, both by former National League umpires.
Full count. The runner Alfonso at first will take off. Todd Zeile moves up a spot in the Mets lineup as a left-hander. He's on the mound for the Yankees.
Andy Pettitte's move is so good that normally the first baseman will play behind the runner, but with 3-2, 2 outs, Joe Torre's electing shrewdly to hold Alfonso on. Alfonso will find it difficult to score on a double if Piazza finds a gap.
Tyner grounded out. Bell grounded out. Alfonso, a base hit up the middle. Now a 3-2 to Piazza. Instead, another check on Alfonso. A 21-pitch first inning for Andy Pettitte. Back-to-back full counts against Alfonso. Now Piazza. Do it again. The New York Mets check into this game with a 34-26 record. They come in 4.5 games out behind the Atlanta Braves, while the Yankees maintain a 1.5 game lead over Boston. They lost to the Braves last night 6-4. The Yankees with the same record as they had at this point a year ago, but a much different team. 3-2.
Many more problems exist for the Yankees with that same record after 56 games this year than existed last year. Roger Clemens struggling. David Cohn, who pitched tomorrow night, struggling. Chuck Knobloch injured. Derek Jeter on the disabled list. Scott Brocious on the DL earlier. Jeter, of course, has been off the list for 2 weeks. There's Chuck Knobloch.
They don't have a very good bench.
Nope.
Rotation is shaky, as we talked about. 3-2 pitch again to Piazza. And that'll put 2 on here in the first inning. They appeal down to first. Ron Kulpa says he didn't swing. A hit, a walk, and now it's Zeile.
It's always tougher for power hitters to check their swings. He checked it easily.
And now Zeile with a chance to put the Mets out in front. He has been on fire of late. Last 25 games hitting .340 with 26 RBIs, 9 home runs. Facing a left-hander Pettitte. 2 on, 2 out. Ball 1. If they don't get a strong start out of Pettitte. And on the heels of last night's disaster with Clemens on the mound, and with David Cohn 1-6 and getting nobody out pitching tomorrow night, it would be devastating to these Yankees.
Red Sox trail the Mets here at Yankee Stadium. Red Sox playing Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then the White Sox, a very good White Sox team, comes in for 4 games Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So all contenders over the next 9 days for the Yankees.
And they face a struggling right-handed pitcher today in Bobby Jones. This is a game that they need to win. 2 on, 2 out. The 2-0 to Zeile. 2-1. Joe Torre managed Todd Zeile with the St. Louis Cardinals. Torre, who originally moved Zeile out from behind the plate, a former catcher, moved him to third. With a chant of "Let's go Yankees" from this sold-out crowd at Yankee Stadium, Andy Pettitte is in big trouble. 2 on, 2 out, and a 3-1 count on Zeile.
30 years ago, it was Red Schoendienst of the Cardinals who moved Torre out from behind the plate and moved him to third. MVP in '71.
What does Zeile get on 3-1? Full count again. Third consecutive full count. Ventura next. What looked like a routine first inning for Andy Pettitte with back-to-back groundouts has turned into a long first inning with his 30th pitch coming to Zeile on 3-2. Runners go. Do it again.
Gives you an indication of how a pitcher is throwing by the at-bats right-handed hitters have against a left-hander. 3-1 count. Alfonso looking for the fastball, fouled off the other way. Todd Zeile looking for the fastball, fouls it off the other way.
So again, a 3-2 delivery coming from Pettitte to Zeile. The chance to put the Mets on top. It's right back here. Todd Zeile coming to the Mets in the offseason, decided to sign a long-term contract, go to New York, be with his friend Mike Piazza, who was more a recruiter than a catcher over the offseason to bring Zeile there. Was burning an offer from the Texas Rangers. And immediately the comparisons to John Olerud began.
Mike Piazza does very well financially as a recruiter.
I'll say. Big time, big payroll headhunter. If you look at Zeile and Olerud, the comparison, more production from Zeile, better defense from Olerud. No real surprise there. 2 on, 2 out. Runners will go on another 3-2 pitch to Zeile. And another foul ball.
Even if the Mets don't score here in the first inning, it has been a very difficult inning for Andy Pettitte. In the mid-90s, I'm sure Joe Torre does not want to see a starter in this kind of mess on this type of day.
Yankee fans are getting tired cheering for a strikeout. They thought they had a chance with Alfonso, he singled. They thought they had a chance to cheer one with Piazza, he walked. 3 consecutive foul balls off the bat of Zeile. It's still 3-2. Shallow right. In comes Spencer. Inning over. A long first half inning for Andy Pettitte. He allows a 2-out hit to Alfonso, walks Piazza, gets Zeile, a half inning. Nothing doing for the Mets with the Yankees coming to bat. Yeah, right, this is another game in the regular season.
You wouldn't pay as much attention to the radar gun as you would pay today, because Bobby Jones, recuperating from all sorts of shoulder problems last year. He didn't have an operation, but a strained right shoulder. He started only 9 games last year. So he has to throw his curveball for strikes. His fastball so far this year in the mid-80s, and that will not get the job done against Major League hitting. Reduced velocity, and he needs pinpoint location. So if he tries to be too cute too early, then he's looking at the 1-0, 2-0, 3-1 fastballs right down the middle. Dangerous pitches in this ballpark for the Yankee left-handed hitters.
The Mets so far publicly haven't been real committed to Bobby Jones in their rotation past this start. So this is a big one for Bobby Jones here at Yankee Stadium against a tough lineup. One pitch. One out. Leday grounds it sharply to Alfonso. That'll bring in Derek Jeter. The .333 average leading this team is high this season, .337. Since coming off the disabled list on May 27th, I'd say he's been pretty good.
1 4-hit game, 6 3-hit games in his last 12. Has just exploded off the DL.
So here he is with 1 out, nobody on, facing Bobby Jones. And a strike floats over the outside part, 85 miles per hour from Jones. Oh, and 2. Is that needed curveball for Bobby Jones?
A curveball that stays up in the strike zone. Derek fouls it off.
He didn't have it in his last start. He didn't have much of anything. Mentioned the 15-5 loss to Tampa Bay. Esteban Yan, the pitcher for the Devil Rays, hit a home run in his first at bat. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jeter, then O'Neill, the DH.
You can see Jay Payton playing Jeter as a pull hitter with 2 strikes. He goes to right with 2 strikes on him, even against a guy like Bobby Jones. I guess Bobby Valentine thinking that with Jones not throwing hard, Jeter's more apt to pull. But against most pitchers, Jeter goes to right field with 2 strikes. He led the American League in opposite field hits last year.
The 2-2 from Jones is lined into center. Payton can't make the catch, and Jeter's on with a 1-out hit. Sinking line drive, and it wouldn't stay up for Jay Payton.
And Jay Payton was well positioned in center field. He comes in and tries to make the shoestring catch. Derek Jeter hits it right on the button, as he's been doing lately. Payton comes in, a little short hop. Even had he made the catch, it would have been no catch. But he was positioned properly right there.
So 1 on, 1 out for Paul O'Neill, who's had a nerve irritation in his lower right leg. That's why he's not in right field today for the Yankees. No score in the first. And a strike on the inside corner. And 1 the count with a runner at first, 1 out. And O'Neill trying to poke it the other way, fights himself not to slam the bat down after fouling that out of play. 0-2. Paul tends to get a little bit upset from at bat to at bat. And he has done nothing except be extremely consistent. As we mentioned last week, an emotional leader on this Yankee team. He came over from Cincinnati in '93.
Every at bat for Paul's like the Last Judgment.
0-2 the count, 1 on, 1 out. And Jeter not running on 0-2.
Yankees second in the American League in stolen bases, and that is the one difference in the Yankees this year and in past years. Joe Torre has encouraged the Yankees to run more, and first base coach Lee Mazzilli has been very instrumental in their leads and jumps off first base.
So 5 bases in a game this past week in Montreal against Carl Pavano. Or more appropriately stated, against Charlie O'Brien. Montreal catcher. That is in the air to right. O'Neill got under it. Derek Bell waits for it. Glass is already on, 2 out. So O'Neill is gone.
That fastball is hittable right there, and you can see Paul's reaction. And hear it.
A G-rated explosion from Paul O'Neill. Bernie Williams stands in. Bernie, 9 of his last 20, hitting .293.
G-rated was a golly G, right?
Yeah. 1 on, 2 out. Bobby Jones delivers high. Earlier, when Derek Jeter was out of the Yankee lineup, they moved Bernie Williams up to the number 2 spot. He performed well there, but for the most part, he has been the cleanup hitter here for the last few years. I'm sure Todd Zeile a little relieved when a right-hander's on the mound and that he gets to hold runners on at first in the typical fashion, as opposed to when, say, last night with Leiter, a left-hander, on the mound. He has to hover around with the base runner off the bag. There goes Jeter. Throw by Pratt. Perfect. Oh, called him safe. And Pratt spun around in disgust back behind home plate. What a throw by Todd Pratt, but Jeter gets his 12th of the year.
You'll hear no argument from Kurt Abbott. He was run after his first at bat last night on a blown call by Marty Foster, and he was safe. A very good call by Randy Marsh, the crew chief. It looked for a moment like Jeter slid into the glove, but he slid past the glove, and the tag was right around the hip. Pratt wanted it, but as the replay showed, good call.
2 balls, no strikes on Bernie Williams. That's into left field. That puts the Yankees on top. Bernie Williams with a double, and the Yankees up 1-0.
Bernie Williams, a very difficult hitter against whom the defense, the reason he uses all parts of the field, taking that outside fastball to left field, and the Yankees strike first. There, that fastball tailing away, and Bernie doesn't try to pull it, but just pokes it down the left field line.
Now Williams at second with 2 out for Tino Martinez, who takes a belt-high fastball for strike 1. We track the history of these 2 franchises. Oh, 2 on Tino Martinez, a change of pace from Bobby Jones. Realize the Yankees have won 25 World Championships, 36 American League pennants. Well, the Mets, their first year in 1962, that 120-loss season. The World Champions 2 times in '69 and '86. That's off the end of the bat foul. It's still 0-2 on Tino Martinez.
You will hear often in postmortems after a game that a pitcher made only 1 mistake. If a guy hits a home run, that's the mistake. That was a huge mistake by Bobby Jones on the 0-2 pitch. He just got away with it. Hanging that fastball up in the eyes of Tino Martinez, a real good high fastball hitter. He just fouled it off.
You ever wonder what it would be like to be seated next to Chuck Knobloch while he was standing on a subway? You just got to look at it. That's off the end of the bat into right center field. Carrying Bell. Missed it. Into score Bernie Williams. Into second Tino Martinez. And it's 2-0 Yankees. It was an adventure last night in right field for Derek Bell, and today a ball that he simply missed out in right center.
Last night on a ball hit by Tino Martinez. Look how far down Martinez goes for that curveball, but a ball that's got to be caught. Derek Bell wandering back, looking totally lost, and misses the ball by 3 inches. That ball has got to be caught, and Bell is lucky that he is not hurt.
See the reaction by Derek Jeter. Everybody in this park thought that ball was going to be pulled in by Derek Bell, and he didn't even get a glove on. So now it's 2-0 Yankees. Again, a runner at second, and Jorge Posada. Ernie Williams with a 2-out RBI double, followed by that double, which is how it was scored by Tino Martinez. Now the 1-0. Posada jammed a bit, a ball and a strike. Talked about it in the opening. A year ago, right around this time, we were here at Yankee Stadium for the Subway Series. A Saturday loss by the Mets. The 5th of June. And then 3 firings in the coaching staff for the Mets as Posada fouls it back. That's strike 2.
Pitching coach Bob Apodaca, the bullpen coach Randy Neiman, and Tom Robson, the hitting instructor. Robson has been rehired, and that's Dave Wallace, who took over as the pitching coach after that infamous purge last June 5th.
Next night, Al Leiter beat the Yankees here, beat Roger Clemens 7-2, and as we mentioned earlier, went 40-15 the Mets did in the next 55 games. It had been 55 games up to that point, the firings. Then the firings, and a couple of very close friends to Bobby Valentine were victimized in the firings. And he said, well, if we're no better in the next 55 games, I should lose my job. Dave Wallace took over as pitching coach. Were they better? They were phenomenal. 40-15, and then rolled on into the postseason. Beating the Reds in that 1-game playoff. They were the wild card and took the Braves to 6 games in the NLCS before losing in extra innings. Kenny Rogers on the mound, and that bases loaded walk. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bobby Valentine sweating through another Bobby Jones start. Derek Bell wondering what might have been out in right center. Hard hit. Kicked briefly by Alfonso, but he recovers, and the inning is over. In the inning, 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 left, 1 inning complete on a bright Saturday in the Bronx, and the Yankees up by 2. Bottom of the first, followed along top of the first. Bobby Valentine wearing a mic. He summed it up very well.
It's been an inning of inches so far. Center field, second base, and right field.
And as we show you what he's talking about,
there's 1 inch. There's the 2nd inch. 3 more inches.
So total 5.
About 5 inches, right.
You're giving Bell 3 inches on that.
Yeah.
Robin Ventura swing and a miss for strike 1, and we're underway in the second with the Yankees up by 2. Ventura, Payton, and Pratt. Robin hitting .230. 11 home runs, 37 driven in. Been productive, and as you mentioned, in the first inning, we don't come across a better defensive third baseman than Robin Ventura.
As much like Brooks Robinson as anybody I've seen since Brooks retired. He is not a fast runner, but he's very quick in his first 2 steps. Brooksy winning 16 Gold Gloves to time with our pal Jim Cott.
The opposite way and slicing foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jay Payton, he'll be next. Dealing with Andy Pettit, who allowed a 2-out hit to Alfonso, followed by a walk to Piazza. Got around those 2 mistakes by getting Zeal. Ventura went, and he is Pettit's first strikeout victim. Right now for a game break. Let's return to Keith Olbermann at the Fox Television Center.
All right, Joe, Kerry Wood continues to get varnished. He's up 1-zip, bottom 1 against the White Sox, and then Maglio Ordonez off the end of the bat. 2-run homer. It is 2-1. Pale hose. Top of the 3. Intermittent driving rain at Comiskey, Joe.
How good are they? How good are the White Sox?
Varnished?
Varnished, shellacked. Kerry Wood. The South Side surprise, to say the least. We'll go back to that in a second and highlight as Jay Payton takes a ball low. Frank Thomas hitting .337. James Baldwin, their staff ace, who will work tomorrow, is 9-1. And Keith Foulke, their closers, got an ERA of 1.58. And right now, the White Sox have the best record in the American League and a 2-game lead over the Indians. The Indians are 8-2 in their last 10 games, and they're still 2 games out.
White Sox have been lacquering the American League Central, winning last night 14 innings.
Payton pounds one into deep right field. At the wall, opposite field, Jay Payton. And the Mets fans have some fun as he sliced the lead in half. They have been waiting and waiting and waiting to get some returns on the former number 3 overall pick in '94 by the Mets, Jay Payton. Injuries have slowed him. He's finally getting a chance, and he goes the opposite way here at Yankee Stadium.
Jay Payton makes up for that inch in center field with a 330-foot home run the other way. Andy Pettit's given up 10 home runs, all to right-handed batters. Only 314 down the line here at Yankee Stadium. And Payton takes advantage of it.
So now 1 out, nobody on, and Todd Pratt. Boy, the Mets getting a lot of mileage out of Todd Pratt. He was out of baseball for a short while, came back to back up Mike Piazza, and here he is hitting .333. That hits him on the arm. And that puts the tying run on. Pratt, who has hit 6 home runs, making his 14th start at catcher this season, is on, being hit by an Andy Pettitte delivery.
If you're going to get hit, you might as well let the uniform take it. Looked like that the ball just grazed him on the left sleeve. May have made contact with the bicep. But Todd Pratt hit by a pitch. Only the second batter hit by Pettitte all year.
That's exactly why, if the uniform is part of the person and the pitch hits the uniform, they get the base. It's staggering that Major League Baseball allows those enormous arm braces on the front elbow.
You're the first one who brought that to my attention last year, and I couldn't agree with you more.
A strike on Kurt Abbott, the number 9 hitter.
There is no limit to the paraphernalia that you can wear on your front arm. As a right-handed hitter, that would be the left arm, of course. That becomes part of the uniform. Your equipment to protect you becomes part of the uniform.
That's into center field, a base hit. Here come the Mets. A home run by Payton. Pratt hit by a pitch, a base hit by Abbott.
Kurt Abbott won Thursday night's game for the Mets with his first walk-off home run of his career. That's beating Baltimore. Kurt did that in the 10th inning at Shea Stadium.
Tying run at second, go-ahead run at first for the rookie Jason Tyner. Drops down a bunt, Pettitte with a barehanded pickup. Thought about second, fires to first. And the runners move up to second and third with 2 out.
That's a bad play. Young Jason Tyner, I realize his forte is his speed, but with 1 out, if there's nobody out, it's a good play. But with 1 out, now what you're doing in essence is leaving it up to the next guy. Now obviously he's bunting for a base hit. He does not find the seam between first and second. Pettitte thinking about second base. Fortunately goes to first base to just get Tyner, but that is not a good play by the young left fielder.
And if he doesn't feel confident enough swinging the bat against Andy Pettitte, then he shouldn't be in the lineup.
That's right. I would give him a sacrifice right there. It has not been scored yet.
They do give him a sacrifice. Put out 1-3.
Yeah, that's clearly a case of a hitter trying to bunt for a base hit and being given a sacrifice. Not a good play by the young left fielder.
Second and third, 2 out. Derek Bell, who made that misplay out in right, has a chance here. That's shot foul. A ball and a strike. Pratt, the runner at third, hit by a pitch, a base hit by Abbott. Those runners moved up on the bunt by Tyner, and a base hit would give, in all likelihood, the Mets their first lead of the day. Headed from the windup with a 1-1 pitch coming to Derek Bell. pop for Brocious. Stays with it. Wide throw, but out. The Mets get only one. Jay Payton goes deep the opposite way. Took advantage of the short porch and right. The house that Root built becomes Payton's place for a moment. That was for you, Tim. 2-1. Yankees.
Beautiful.
Mike Messina. Somebody caught him outside the dugout, and here's what he had to say about his big league debut.
And I haven't been able to eat, I haven't been able to sleep, and you know, here I am walking in the locker rooms, Piazza, and just it's a dream come true. That sends butterflies in your stomach when you know you're in there right off the chute. And I wasn't really arguing with him about what big league number I was getting, and I've never been 11. You know, hopefully it'll be good luck for me. We'll see.
Looks like one of the stars of Malcolm in the Middle. He looks like he's about 10. Says the premature balding 31-year-old. A base hit to the right side, and on is Spencer to start the second.
Keeping up with Mets tradition, another episode of Tyner's Corner. Ralph Kiner, of course, a reference to the longest running local sports show. Kiner's Corner on for 32 years following Mets games. And back on, as a matter of fact. They revived it last year.
Were you ever on Kiner's Corner as a player?
Oh, yeah. Got $50. Are you kidding? $50 cash? A lot of money 30 years ago, man.
One on with nobody out, and here is Brocious. You still have to do this with these big leaguers. I think it would stun people to know that if you want to get, let's say, a 5-minute, 3-minute radio interview, which we have to deal with day by day during the course of the week before we put on makeup and a little tie and stand there on Fox, you've got to coerce these major leaguers who are making upwards of $200, $300 million a year.
Give them a camera.
You have to give them a gift certificate to the Gap, or give them a free hat or a lunchbox or whatever. So guys like John Sterling and Michael Kay, they get their pregame radio interviews done, and then they hand them a gift certificate. A couple years ago, my dad, who broadcast for the Cardinals, in case you don't know, nepotism's big in my life, had to interview Greg Maddux. We were out of gifts for the Cardinals. So my dad gave Maddux $50, and he took it out of his pocket. Here's a fly ball into left center field. Tyner is there. One out. And my dad digs into his pocket and hands Maddux $50. He took it, put it in his uniform pants, and did the interview. Let's go to Cleveland on the heels of that great story and check in with Tom and Bob.
We welcome those of you watching the Mets and the Yankees. Tom Brenneman, Bob Brenly, our entire Fox crew here at Jacobs Field. The Battle of Ohio, Cleveland and Cincinnati. A 2-2 game here in the third. The Reds got their 2-1. Big swing of the bat by Junior in the first inning off Dave Burba.
Junior showing bunt on the first pitch. Travis Fryman just kind of grinned at him. Go ahead. You want a bunt for a base hit, we'll give it to you.
Here's a pitch on the way, and Griffey looks at a strike. Counted 1-1. Junior hitting his 17th home run of the season, and now has 44 runs batted in.
Burba trying to work very quickly to Ken Griffey Jr. Jr. doesn't even get out of the box, but he does request timeout so he can get set, take a couple of waggles up there.
Thought about it and takes a pitch down and in. 2 balls and a strike to Junior. Now 3-1. Ken Griffey Jr. has 5 career hits off Dave Burba. 4 of the 5 have gone for a home run.
Well, this will be a telling pitch right here from Dave Burba. 3-1 count to Junior. Normally a fastball count for Dave Burba. He likes to challenge opposing hitters, dare him to hit the ball.
Not this time. He walks Ken Griffey Jr.
Tried to go away with a 2-seam fastball that just continues.
Little chopper to the right side off the bat of Wilson Delgado. 2 out. Zeal took the play. Down to second is Spencer there with 2 away. Back to the top of the order. And what a surprise. What a surprise that Ken Griffey Jr. is hitting .224. In fact, was taken out of the lineup a week and a half ago by his manager Jack McKeon because he was struggling at the plate so much. Now he still has produced runs and he's hit 17 home runs, driven in 44, but the lowest average to this point in his seemingly sure bet Hall of Fame career.
I don't ever remember Lou Piniella removing Ken Griffey Jr. from the lineup because he was struggling. Ever.
A ball to Ricky Leday. For those of you waiting for the end of my story about my dad, Greg Maddux, it's over. A 1-0. Popped up on the infield. Will it stay in play? Foul territory. Pratt gives it a look. That's the way things have been going for the Yankees. That stays in play. Pratt makes a nice catch and the inning is over. The Yankees strand their second of the afternoon. That'll do it as Pratt goes to the dugout railing. Makes the catch. Fox Sports, home to the 2000 World Series, will return to Yankee Stadium after this from your local Fox station. Pratt made that nice catch along the dugout railing. Here were his instructions from manager Bobby Valentine.
No! Stop right there! You got it!
You can be a little more adventurous in your own dugout knowing that you have help. Even though Todd Pratt was more into the fans area, you could see Bobby Valentine, John Stearns, an ex-catcher, going over to help if they could reach him. Nice play by Pratt.
Alfonso fouled the first one. Now the third base line, and now takes the ball outside. A ball and a strike from Andy Pettitte. Lately, these Yankees have not been your grandchildren's Yankees. They have not played like they have, winning world championships 3 of the last 4 years. And it still surprises me, Tim, every time I write down and I see on the stat sheet that Rick Cerrone puts together for the Yankees, that the Yankees have the same record now as they had a year ago at this point, because it's easy to forget the different struggles during the course of the season. All you think about with the Yankees even last year, after that great year in '98, is they dominated from start to finish, and there was no doubt that they were going to be world champions. Well, there is a big, heavy dose of doubt about this Yankee team right now.
Robin Ventura, when talking about the Yankees, compares the Yankees to his time in Chicago when the Chicago Bulls were so prominent, winning one world championship after another. Of course, they had Michael Jordan. The Yankees have not had Michael Jordan, but they have had Phil Jackson, or the equivalent, and Joe Torre.
Without the whole Zen thing.
Yeah.
They both dress well, but Joe gets to put on a uniform to sit guide his team.
Right.
Phil gets to stay in his designer custom-made suits. Have you ever figured out exactly why managers wear uniforms? We know one thing, some managers shouldn't wear uniforms.
Connie Mack did, dressed in a suit.
But some just don't look
50
good.
years.
Some don't look good, and even if the better physical days have passed them by. As a fly ball's well hit into center. Back is Williams. 1 out. Must be a little difficult to see today because Williams didn't really go after that ball with much confidence. Bell had trouble in right, back in the first. We would like to welcome those of you watching the Cincinnati Reds and the Cleveland Indians. We are in New York. This is the Battle of New York Subway Series, the Mets and the Yankees. Mets put 2 on the first, didn't score. Yankees came back with 2 in the first. Back-to-back doubles by Williams and Martinez after a 1-out hit by Jeter and a stolen base. And the Mets got a home run from Jay Payton, and you're watching Mike Piazza. That's why you're here. He flies to right, 2 away, and here in the third.
Yeah, that's a big reason why people are tuning in, and a big reason why they're here at Yankee Stadium.
All right, they're gone. I never liked any of those people from Ohio anyway. They're not listening to us anymore.
But now you say it. Now you're brave saying it. That's when they're gone, right?
That's right. Well, Dad's side of the family is from Ohio.
From the Cleveland area, right?
Cleveland area. That's 2 dad references. That is a career record for me.
The Bucks are big in Cleveland.
Oh, yeah. 2 out, nobody on for Todd Zeal. Flied out to right with 2 on and 2 out in the first. Trying to find the range against Andy Pettit. Takes the ball low.
Todd Zeal shelled out a few bucks and gave his parents a Christmas present. And it's an all expense paid weekend in New York City when the Mets play the Yankees. Father Todd, mother Sammy, and his wife Julianne, the former Julianne McNamara, the silver medalist in the 1984 Olympics in Los Angeles. They will be going to swing tonight. Broadway play.
Very cultured man, that Todd Zeal.
Yes, he is. Well,
3 balls, no strikes.
Excuse me, Joe. The one thing Todd has done, he's embraced the city of New York. He's embraced it much like Paul O'Neill has, much like Mike Piazza has. Some guys try to fight the pressure. Hey, why fight it? If you're going to play here, why not enjoy yourself?
A 2-out walk put Zeal on. I went up to Todd before today's game and I said, "So you're going to swing tonight, huh?" And he said, "What? How do you know that?" I said, "Well, Tim found that out." "How'd Tim find that out?" "I don't know how Tim found that out." "So your parents are here in town. You flew them out here for a Christmas present, right?" "Right. How'd you know that?" "I read it in the paper." "How did they find that?" "I don't know. Read the paper and figure out what the world knows about you."
Yeah, he doesn't read the paper.
Which for a New York athlete is probably a wise choice. As Ventura pounds one into right center. Back is Spencer at the wall to wave goodbye. And the Mets take a 3-2 lead. Number 12 on the season for Robin Ventura.
And the first home run by a left-handed batter against Andy Pettit this year. It looked like a hanging cutter that just stayed over the heart of the plate.
And now with 2 out, here's Payton, and that's a painful foul ball.
Ventura has never been awed by left-handed pitching. It's left-handers very, very well. Puts the Mets on top here in the third.
Talked about the importance of this start for Andy Pettit. He's already blown a 2-0 lead here early. There have been base runners all over the place. Payton trying to shake off and get rid of that pain after that foul ball for the first strike. A little 2-out walk. Those will kill you. 2-out walk to Zeal. Didn't even get to finish the story about Zeal, but his mom is a newspaper editor of a small-town newspaper in Southern California. The man doesn't read the local paper. 2 out, nobody on, a ball and a strike. Payton homered his first time up. That's one last night. 12-2. Hit 2 home runs today and lead 3-2 here in the third. Strike 2 on Payton. Last time up, Jay Payton the opposite way. Every little extra bit of current can help. Bobby Valentine helping to wave that out of here.
Talked about that game that they played, one of the great regular season games last July 10th. And you get the feeling that this game could be like that 9-8 Met win. Not that the Mets would win, but that type of game where the lead changed hands 5 times. One of the great regular season games last year.
The 2-2. Full count now as Payton checked his swing. Well, the Yankees lead so far since interleague play began in 1997. 7 wins to the Mets 6. But each one has, at least each series has been memorable for one reason or another or 10. Here's the 3-2, and Peyton hammers at a high pitch. Started in '97 with Dave Malicki with that shutout of the Yankees. 6-0 right here. Took some of the dirt from around the mound and took it back home with him. The former Met, now with Detroit. That was in '97. '98, the Yankees win 2 of 3. As Peyton grounds to second. Last year they split the games, and so far the Mets are up 1-0. And right now lead by 1. A 2-out walk to Zeal, a home run by Ventura. 2 home runs allowed by Andy Pettit. That shot gives the Mets a 3-2 lead. It's a 3-2 Mets lead as we move to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Yankees will have the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Our Pepsi All-Star update. Right now the leading vote getter is Ivan Rodriguez in the American League, and no real surprises there, maybe except Jermaine Dye. Jermaine Dye having a great season with the Kansas City Royals. Over in the National League, Ken Griffey Jr. is the leading vote getter right now, and that changes daily, obviously. McGuire, Biggio, Larkin, Chipper Jones, Piazza, Bonds, Griffey, and Sosa in the outfield.
All-Star game to be played July the 11th in Atlanta, Georgia.
Here's Derek Jeter. Singled, stole a base, scored a run back in the 1st, and now he pounds one into center for Peyton. 1 pitch, 1 out, and these Yankees have been up there hacking at the first pitch. Leday grounded the first pitch of the 1st inning to the second baseman Alfonso. Spencer lined the first pitch of the 2nd inning through the right side for a base hit. Now Jeter lines out to center. Here's Paul O'Neill.
Characteristic of the Yankee lineup over the past 4 years is that they have not been first ball hitters. They went through 5 games last year without drawing a walk. Already this year they've gone through 7 without drawing a walk. One of their traits, a very patient lineup, but they have not been as patient this year as they've been in past years, and you can almost feel the anxiety and the need to swing at a pitch early in the count.
2 balls, no strikes on Paul O'Neill. It's a rally dance like a Rockette.
Low kick.
The kids, they love that swing music.
They do indeed.
2 balls, no strikes, 1 out, nobody on. Paul O'Neill looking for a fat one as he takes it low, 3-0. 86 miles per hour on the fastball from Bobby Jones.
See if Joe Torre allows Paul O'Neill to hit here. Jones is not throwing hard. So if O'Neill gets a down and in fastball, you look for something to jerk.
He is swinging on 3-0, and he hits it to dead center field, and goodbye. Swinging on 3-0, and O'Neill gets number 7 to tie the game at 3.
It wasn't in, but it was down. 7th home run of the year, and the first since May 19th for Paul O'Neill. That part of the plate, Jones trying to stay away, but O'Neill wouldn't let him.
A 1-0. Ball and a strike on Bernie Williams.
About where Mike Piazza's home run off Roger Clemens went last night. 415 to 420 feet from home plate.
So now a 3-3 game. One out. Nobody on for Williams. Off the end of the bat. Strike two. Bernie Williams floated a double into left. His first time up for an RBI. Roger Clemens sitting and watching after last night's disappointing start. Disappointing is a kind, nice word for what was an embarrassing moment, walking off the field to a chorus of boos in his home stadium. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
8 earned runs, 9 unearned runs, matching his career high.
And only occasionally since coming to the Yankees has he turned in strong outing. That gets Williams as Pratt pulled it back into the strike zone. 2 out. First strikeout for Bobby Jones.
The Yankees somewhat used to this pitch. They saw it last Saturday against Greg Maddux. That arms up. That's that antiperspirant fastball. Tails back over the inside part of the plate.
Got a lot of the plate, and then Pratt pulled it down back into the strike zone. 2 out. Nobody on. Tino Martinez. An RBI double and a ball mishandled out in right by Derek Bell. You see that big breaking ball? There are some pitching coaches now around the major leagues who try to steer pitchers away from the curveball only because, since they no longer, or very few umpires do call a high strike, a lot of times that pitch is taken for a ball. But if that is your pitch, as it is with Bobby Jones, there's no option. And Jones changes up. Tino Martinez in the hole, 1-2. More umpires seem willing to give the corners than they do up and down in the strike zone.
That's true.
And that is one of the reasons why some, certainly not all, try to steer some pitchers away from the big curveball. The 1-2 as they set up inside, and Tino Martinez pops it up. Edgardo Alfonso, glasses on, right day, makes the catch, inning over. From the rally dance put on by the Yankees bench squad. Dun, 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 wham, into center field on 3-0. Home run O'Neill. 3-3 game after 3. The humidity probably keeps the blimp up in the air. 1,000 feet above Yankee Stadium. The Bud One airship providing baseball fans with these live shots throughout the day. Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. We'll give you today's free internet.com trivia question. 4 people have managed both the New York Mets and the New York Yankees. Who are they? Who are they? Who are they? Leading it off is Pratt, and he takes a strike. 4th inning, it's a 3-3 game. Six home runs for Pratt. Hit by pitch his first time up. Ball and a strike from Andy Pettitte. Talked about how Bobby Jones struggled his last time out against Tampa Bay. Pettitte wasn't very good, but he did get a win. 7-6 victory on Sunday in Atlanta, but he went 6, allowed 6 runs on 9 hits. Broken back, ground ball to Jeter. Plenty of time. 1 away. 1 down, and the number 9 hitter, Kurt Abbott, will bat.
One of Jim Leland's favorite players, Kurt Abbott, a member of the 1997 Florida Marlins World Championship team. Florida Marlins coming into being in 1993, and Kurt Abbott is the all-time Florida Marlin leader in triples with 19. That'll be short-lived, I'm sure.
From the little-known stat category.
Yeah.
A Seaver jersey here at Yankee Stadium. Wasn't Abbott with Jimmy Leland out in Colorado? He was.
Yeah, right.
He's also been with Oakland. So that is proof positive that he was a big Kurt Abbott fan.
He loved Kurt Abbott. He loved his attitude, that kind of raw meat attitude, always ready to play. Kicked out of last night's game on a disputed play at first base, and on the replay, Tino Martinez didn't even come close to tagging Abbott. And home plate umpire today was the first base umpire last night, Marty Foster. One of those inadvertent runs. Turned around and Marty, he thought, it looked like he thought Marty Foster was about 4 feet from him, and he turned around, and whether he said something or shoved him a bit, inadvertently touching him, don't know.
Well, he was gone in a hurry. A one-out walk, third walk handed out by Pettit. You talk to a lot of managers about the importance of a good number 9 hitter in an American League lineup. Why? Well, it's obvious. To turn the lineup over and to get it back up to the top of the order, which Abbott has done now twice. He's on with a one-out walk.
Look at Scott Brosius' success for the 1998 Yankees, driving in 98 runs, hitting primarily in the 7, 8, and 9 holes.
He had 300, hit 19 home runs. Last year he had 247, 17 home runs, 71 RBIs, and this year Brosius is at 248, 3 home runs and 16 RBIs. So the bottom of the order is very different for the Yankees as well. Not as productive. The bench isn't as good, and the rotation is suspect right now. 1 on, 1 out, the 1-0. Ball and a strike. Boy, it must be nice to be picked on by every person with a headset or with a pen in their hand, writing on a piece of paper telling you how bad you are when you're a half game up on the Red Sox in the American League East. But that's the situation with the Yankees. With the standard they've set, this team does not measure up. It is not as good as the team that has won 3 of the last 4 world championships in so many different facets. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Jason Tyner.
Got to look at Wilson Delgado there. The Yankees, one of those players.
Back to Pettit. How about that? From behind the back. No double play, but they get the force out at second base.
Oh, man. Behind the back dribbles in basketball have become routine. This will never be routine. Look at this. They still don't get Tyner, who could fly. Now it's going to be interesting to see if a balk is going to be called on Andy Pettit, because he will keep Tyner close to first. This will be an interesting battle right here.
Yeah, especially with 2 out.
Yep.
You expect him to run at some point. You got Derek Bell at the plate. He drove in 5 here last night. He's 0 for 2 so far this afternoon. Tyner is at first. Eventually, he will try to go down to second. So Tyner getting his first looks at a pickoff move I'm sure he's heard plenty about. Headed over to Yankee Stadium.
Nothing like experiencing it firsthand, and he's doing just that.
Bell is jammed, and a little fly ball into left for Ledet. Easy play. Inning is over. A 1-out walk to Abbott. The behind-the-back stab by Pettit. Hauntingly, it's time for the answer to today's freeinternet.com trivia question. 4 people have managed both the Mets and the Yankees. Who are they?
One of them's Joe Torre. Yogi Berra.
Casey Stengel.
Yeah, right.
Dallas Green.
That's the toughest of the 4.
And he is the man that Bobby Valentine replaced.
Right.
Managing a AAA for the Mets. Bobby Valentine took over August 26th of '96. And he got to the postseason as a manager at the big league level for the first time in his managerial career. In the office of the redundancy office. last year. Over the outside corner, 1 ball, 1 strike on Posada.
Joe Torre, on the other hand, took over the New York Mets May 31st, 1977, and was a player manager for about a month until they made a deal.
Easy play for Zeal to his left, and 1 away.
He went off the active roster, and the Mets made a trade from San Diego. Who came? Bobby Valentine.
There's Joe Torre, the Mets manager, player manager in 77, as Tim just mentioned. Positioning the defense. And there's Casey Stengel.
Old professor.
The old professor, who was a manager in the Mets from 62 to 65 and had that great run with the New York Yankees as their manager. Batter is Shane Spencer with 1 out, nobody on. Into left center field. That should hang up. Peyton having trouble with it. Now he finds it, and we find Keith Olbermann. He is resting and now active back in the Fox Television Center.
Speaking of resting, Joe, watch Michael Tucker's reaction in Cleveland. Oh, I love me. Very deep and very unplayable off Dave Burba to extend the Cincinnati lead to 4-2. But then in the bottom of the 4th, Travis Fryman, as the homers continue to fly. And it is now still 4-3. And Joe, wasn't I on your radio show last year? And was the gift certificate in the mail?
You were on my radio show last year at Dodger Stadium.
Joy McCamera.
2 out, nobody on, and Brocious pops it up. When you have other members of the media on, that means that no players will talk to you that day. So Keith, thanks for filling in. Try to get something started for the Mets. It's a 3-3 game. The Yankees got 2 in the first. The Mets got a run in the second and a home run by Peyton. The Mets then got 2 runs in the third and a 2-out home run by him, Robin Ventura. But the Yankees tied it on a 3-0 pitch, a home run by O'Neill in the bottom of the third. Now here we are in the 5th. Edgardo Alfonzo is 1 for 2. Ball 1. I would say the early returns on this game. You look at Bobby Jones for the Mets, and I think the Mets are getting as much as they could have hoped for out of Bobby Jones. The Yankees are getting a so-so sort of a start from Andy Pettitte. 2
home runs. The long ball has been Pettitte's undoing so far. Got a tie ball game. A lot of baseball left. Home run by Jay Peyton and a 2-run shot by Robin Ventura.
A ball and a strike on Alfonso.
Both teams with very good bullpens. The Yankees better in the short reliever department with Mariano Rivera.
Leaping catch by Tino Martinez. And that'll bring in Mike Piazza with 1 out here in the 5th.
We have shown some hot zones with Mike Piazza. Last night, his first at bat, Roger Clemens gets him with an inside fastball, a ball that he thought was inside. Second at bat, check that 350 right there. And watch where the slider is, right in that circle. Grand slam home run is 11. Third time up. Clemens tries to get inside with a fastball, and Piazza takes him to left field.
There's a rip into left field off the bat of Piazza, and he's on with 1 out.
See, that's the thing. If you're trying to get inside to Mike Piazza and the ball's not inside, he can turn on it. So if you're going inside, you have to go inside off the plate. Anything for a strike in there. He is lightning quick. Pettitte trying to get inside, but that cutter not in on the handle. Piazza put the head on it, as the players say.
And what an advantage, Tim, it is for the Mets who play in this interleague series. To be able to use the DH and give Piazza a day as the designated hitter, so you don't wear him down as a catcher, or he has to catch on a hot day here at Yankee Stadium. They've got a night game tomorrow night. So you get him, in a way, a little rest, and you keep his bat in the lineup.
That's a great point, and particularly with the left-hander last night. What you do is you protect his arm, too. He is not a good thrower.
Zeal pops it up behind the plate. Posada gives it a look. 0-2 on Zeal.
So Bobby Valentine can catch him with Al Leiter pitching, the left-hander, play him as the DH with the right-hander pitching, and then playing behind the plate with the left-hander, Mike Hampton, pitching tomorrow night.
And all of this, what we're talking about, is the main reason why, or at least one of the main reasons why, people have for the last 5 years said, eventually this guy's got to change positions. Because of the wear and tear that the position of catcher does to you, and because of day games after night games like this situation. Andy Pettit wants to know where in the world that pitch was. It's called ball 1, 1-2. Piazza doesn't want to give it up.
Called low. Look low.
So a 1-2 count on Zeal. 1 on, 1 out. And Zeal stays alive.
I might go down a couple of steps, but
I know Piazza enjoys the art of catching, calling pitches, and handling pitchers.
Involvement in the play.
Don't you think eventually this guy's got to move?
Yeah, yeah. I fought that theory for a couple of years when Piazza was young, but I think eventually he's got to do it.
Only because he's so abnormal with regard to what he could do with the bat in his hands, power, average, how productive he is at the plate. A long-term career behind the plate might take some at bats away from him.
Yeah.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 on, 1 out. Zeal stays alive. Two balls, 2 strikes on Zeal. Ventura, who homered his last time up, will follow. Three balls, 2 strikes. It was 0-2.
It has been a gritty at bat by Todd Zeal thus far. I would imagine Piazza will be running here. But he has to make sure Pettit throws home. He's got about a 2-foot lead at first base.
There he goes. Zeal lines one into center. Williams back. Misread it over his head. Piazza has to crank start the engines again. To the plate, Piazza. He's safe in his 4th 3 Mets.
A tough at bat by Todd Zeal. There is no way that Bernie Williams had a good jump on this ball. Drifts over and now runs back, but it's too late. If he breaks back immediately, he makes the play. That was by no means routine. It is very difficult to pick up a ball here at Yankee Stadium. One of the real tough sun fields, center field and left field. But had he broken back immediately, he makes the play.
Now Ventura, who homered his last time up, with an extra run out there in scoring position. Only 1 out. The Mets back out in front. Two 2-0 from Pettit to Ventura.
Watch the relay throw by Bernie Williams with Piazza running on the play, and that's why you send Piazza on a play like that. Really no chance and no play. Pettit waving Bernie back, but the Mets retake the lead.
Here's a 2-0 to Ventura with Zeal at second, 1 out. Good swing, 2-1. Talked about a gritty at bat for Zeal. It has been a gritty and at times gruesome week and a half from Mike Piazza with a couple of minor injuries. He was able to get through. Look at Pettit. He knew immediately that Williams had no chance to catch that ball with the kind of jump he had.
He also knew how hard that ball was hit, too.
So now it's 4-3 Mets. Zeal at second, 1 out. And Ventura waiting for a 2-ball, 1-strike pitch from Andy Pettitte. To the right side, off the glove of Martinez to put runners at first and third. So more base runners, more trouble for Pettitte.
Tough in between hop by Tino Martinez, or off the glove of Tino. He's only made one error this year. An error on Tino Martinez. Watch Todd Zeal, Cookie Rojas saying, hold the bag, hold the bag. A lot of times a third base coach can't bring a base runner around the bag because the strong arm of a guy like Delgado can throw behind him. And now the Mets threatening to score again.
Now Payton with runners at first and third, 1 out. It is an error on Martinez. And it's a strike to Jake Payton in an era where so many official scorers in this era of offense just give hit. I don't know that I agree with that ruling of an error on Tino Martinez. A tough error, as you said, on an in-between hop, way to his right, well off the bat.
That is a very, very difficult play and tough to give an error on that play. I agree.
As you mentioned, he had only 1 error, now 2, and it's first and third, 1 out. Mets trying to add to their lead. And a nice play by Posada to keep it at the plate.
They say that third base is the hot corner. Well, first base can be the hot corner with a good left-hander like Ventura up there. Tough play.
Already 100 pitches on the afternoon for Andy Pettitte. And he has only pitched 4 in the third inning. 4 runs on 6 hits. 3 walks, 2 home runs, only 1 strikeout. Through the left side, a base hit for Payton. He drives in another, and the Mets lead by 2. Well, something we talked about coming into the inning is definitely true now. This has been a disappointing start for Andy Pettitte, while the Mets are getting everything they could have realistically hoped for from Bobby Jones.
No question about it. They're also getting a lot from Jay Payton. 3 hits last night. 2 runs driven in today. That ball down and in. Zeal scores easily.
Payton, who was the 3rd pick overall in '94, said left shoulder surgery, right elbow surgery, didn't play at all in '97. And Joe Torre, instead of Mel Stottlemyre, will go out and talk as Mr. Everything for the Yankees, either out of the bullpen or in the rotation. Jason Grimsley gets loose out of the Yankee bullpen. That ought to tell you how important this game is to the Yankees with Cone going tomorrow night. We're in the 5th, and the Mets lead by 2 and have 2 on, 1 out. Todd Pratt been hit by a pitch and grounded out. Double play candidate. He's hit 6 home runs. Takes a strike. Ventura on at second with Payton on at first. A homer and an RBI single for Jay Payton, who's been saying, just give me a chance. Let me play with some sort of regularity. Now he is, and he's been producing. Pratt squirts 1 to first. Martinez has only 1 play. That's to feed Pettitte to put out 3-1, and it's second and third with 2 out.
Andy Pettitte looking for a ground ball. He got the ground ball, but it was not hit hard enough to Martinez. And Tino had to settle for 1.
Now Abbott, who's hitting .215, won a game on Thursday night with a 10th inning home run to beat the Orioles, and they're going to walk Abbott and pitch to the rookie Tyner. This will be the 4th walk handed out by Pettitte.
You mentioned 9th place hitters. How many times do you see this? Andy Pettitte will go into a stretch. He was going to, they're calling a balk, I believe. Bobby Valentine out of the dugout. What Pettitte did, he was going to wind up And catcher Jorge Posada held up 4 fingers. When he held up 4 fingers, it was an intentional walk. Valentine is claiming, and he may have a point, that Pettit moved forward. Let's see right here. Left foot's on the rubber right now. Oh, he moved his hands before he broke contact with the rubber. You can't do that. You have to step off and then break your hands.
He was breaking his hands to call timeout.
Right. You can't do that once you're in your wind-up position. You can call timeout, but you can't move your hands like he did. That was a balk, in my view. And the reason that he wanted to go in the stretch position, you're never going to walk anybody intentionally from the windup.
So the intentional pass loads the bases for the rookie Jason Tyner. A couple of hits last night for Tyner. We go back.
Looking down, and now he sees the 4 fingers. Now the arms come out before the foot steps off. That's a balk.
But as it is, as you were talking about the potential of a balk earlier in the game, it wasn't like that. No balk is called, and now it's up to Tyner, and Pettit gets the corner, strike 1. 8th man to bat in the inning, Jason Tyner. 5 out of 19 in the big league. 3 big league RBI. Pretty well hit into left field. Leday back to get it. And the inning is over. So the Mets come up with a couple. They get 2 runs. 3 hits and error. Zeal with an RBI double. He would later score on a hit by Payton. Mets have left 8. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Mets up by 2. Shortage of action so far this afternoon. A 5-3 Mets lead. And here's Bobby Jones, who now is referred to with the Mets as Bobby J. Jones. Because over the offseason they picked up Bobby M. Jones from the Rockies. Is that a Brock umbrella making an appearance here in New York?
Yeah. Lou Brock's product. I think he patented that back in the late 70s.
Used as a sunshade here today, and the number 9 hitter Wilson Delgado stands in. We talked about it earlier with regard to second base for the Yankees. Chuck Knobloch, they're going to wait until after this weekend is over and decide after the series with the Mets is finished whether to put Knobloch on the disabled list or not. He's been out with a strained left forearm. He was 2 for 5 on Sunday, had to leave. He's missed the last 4 games. An injury that's been bothering him since a series back in May in Cleveland. A ball and a strike on Delgado. Up the middle, a base hit for Delgado. So the leadoff man is on. From Tony Award-winning musical Kiss Me Kate, the A&W fan cam with this musical accompaniment.
It's too darn hot. It's too darn hot. I'd like to sup with my baby tonight and play the pup with my baby tonight. I'd like to sup with my baby tonight and play the pup with my baby tonight. But I ain't up to my baby tonight 'cause it's too darn hot.
Last week we paid homage to Tito Puente. This week, all our respect paid to Cole Porter.
Check those words. I'd like to sup with my baby tonight.
That's your kind of stuff right there.
I'd like to stop.
Yeah, baby.
Kiss Me Kate. Here's Leday, and he's the tying run. A leadoff hit by the number 9 hitter Delgado. Could start trouble, big trouble for Bobby Jones. Leday is grounded out, fouled out. On the year, he's hit 6 home runs. You would have to imagine that shortly we will get into a battle of the bullpens.
shortly.
A late swing by Leday. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count, and you already mentioned it. These are two teams that are blessed with very deep bullpens.
The advantage to the Yankees, really, when you have a guy like Nelson, you have a guy like Mike Stanton. The Mets counter with Turk Wendell. They have John Franco, Armando Benitez. Mariano Rivera's the best saver in the game.
One ball, 1 strike. Leday to the shortstop. Abbott, tough play, and they get the lead man at second.
Why did he slide? You got to slide there. You get there quicker. I have no idea what Delgado's thinking. Perhaps he's looking for Abbott to go to first base. Rarely do you see a shortstop with a 2-run lead turn around and throw like that. Delgado going in standing up. You can't do that. Had he slid, it's very, very close. He even pulls up. That's the thing about going so fast. When you go that fast and you go in standing up, you've got to pull up to the base, which slows you down. He's upset that he didn't slide. You got to do it. You take nothing for granted.
There's very little doubt that that's what he was doing, taking for granted, assuming that Abbott was going to try to throw on to first to get Leday, and Abbott probably made the only play he had, or at least had his best shot at second base.
Yeah, because Leday, a left-handed batter who got out of the box in a hurry, the ball was not hit well. And Delgado knowing that he should have slid.
So now Jeter with a 1-ball, no-strike count. Runner at first, 1 out. Jeter's 1 out of 2 this afternoon. (5-3) the Mets lead. On the inside part, a ball and a strike. What a difference from last night with regard to the Mets starter that these Yankees have had to face here this afternoon. Leiter not only throws from the other side, but has completely different pitching stuff. He can overpower you. He can cut the fastball, as you and Bobby Mercer talked about last night. And Jones is basically a curveball pitcher who has to try to sneak the fastball through there every once in a while.
Who has not broken 87 today.
The 1-1. That's down the right field line, slicing foul. Strike 2.
Talked about it earlier about how Derek Jeter drags the bat head through the strike zone. That commits him to go to right field. It's almost a natural swing for Derek.
He's set up here at a ball and 2 strikes. Jones has only 1 strikeout on the day, but importantly, he hasn't walked anybody. That's on the inside corner. Jeter with a rare discussion with a home plate umpire. Second strikeout for Bobby Jones. Here's Keith Olbermann in the Fox Television Center.
Joe, Kerry Wood, and Mike Sorotka in a pitcher's duel in Chicago. 2-1, the White Sox leading the Cubs. And then Grace connects for his 7th homer of the year. We're now 2-2, bottom of the 6th. There have only been 2 home runs in this game, so an investigation is pending, Joe.
Cubs playing in bad Leroy Brown's territory, right? South Chicago.
The baddest part of town.
Yeah.
1 on, 2 out. Paul O'Neill takes the ball high. Just turning into the Dick Clark hour here very quickly. And Keith, after you find out the results of that investigation, please pass it along. Jeter upset that he was called out on strike 3 over the inside part. Rarely does he say anything to the home plate umpire. He's done it the last couple of weeks. We saw it back in Atlanta, and he does it here to Marty Foster after he was rung up by Bobby Jones. Here's O'Neill, who homered his last time up. right center field. That's trouble. Won't be caught. Digging for third, Leday. It's booted by Payton in right center. Leday will score without a play, and it's a one-run game.
Paul O'Neill again. Rifles one into right center field. He hit it so hard, and Payton was playing him so deep that Payton would have had a shot, perhaps, at Ricky Leday had he not bobbled the ball. Leday with 2 outs running hard all the way, never even thinking of stopping at third, scores the 4th Yankee run.
Get an idea for how the wind is picked up as a beach ball comes firing onto the field, picked up by Kurt Abbott. So we get a delay. Runner at second, O'Neill. That's the tying run, 2 out, and they are trying to squeeze 5 innings out of Bobby Jones. Delgado with a base running mistake in this inning. And now the crowd takes over. Here comes O'Neill. The throw by Tyner not made, and it's 5-5 in the 5th.
Yankee fans with not a lot to cheer about for the last 24 hours. But they're cheering now. The crowd very much into the game. O'Neill going hard all the way, and the Yankees have let it be known that they will run on Jason Tyner's arm.
A visit to the mound by Dave Wallace, and they're going to leave Bobby Jones out there. With Pat Mahomes getting loose out of the Mets bullpen.
You can see Jason Tyner, who is not a strong thrower. Watch the relationship between Paul O'Neill right there, and the time Tyner gets the ball, he had a play on O'Neill. Couldn't grip it firmly, but I know what you're saying through inference. This is a dangerous at bat.
If you're a Mets fan, you're holding your breath with Bobby Jones pitching to Tino Martinez.
That is exactly right. In my view, Bobby Jones should not be in the game right now. It should be Pat Mahomes who's warming.
A strike into Tino Martinez. Martinez has hit 6 home runs, driven in 31. In an effort to try to get Bobby Jones through 5 innings. A couple of runs have scored with 2 out here in the 5th. And check on Williams over at first.
You can understand it if Bobby Jones was ahead 7-3 or 6-1, something like that. Try to nurse him through 5 to get him a win. But in a tie ball game, why is he still out there?
Hammered down the right field line. If it's fair, it's gone. It is foul. Upper tank. Well, if you were holding your breath, you just exhaled, and now you start to hold your breath again if you're a Mets fan.
And at bat of deep breaths. Upper deck about 4 feet foul.
And Jones is behind the mound trying to think of something he can flip up there to get it past Tino Martinez. Martinez is doubled, popped up. Go ahead, run at first, 2 out. There goes Williams on. The play is short. Abbott's throw late. 2 on, 2 out. Base hit, Tino Martinez. He's 2 out of 3. You can't think that Jones will last another hitter.
No way. No way. Bernie Williams stopping at second, making sure he doesn't take the wide turn, and here comes Dave Wallace.
So that's it for Bobby Jones. They tried to get 5 out of him, could not. A 4-hit inning, a 2-run inning, 2 still on. Jones is gone, and we're tied at 5 in the 5th.
I remember warming up and hearing the place rocking and then coming out of the gate, and it was just like, wow. I mean, it's one thing looking at it from the bullpen, but going out on the field and being out there 60 feet, 6 inches away from the hitter, and the fans are going crazy, that was something like I'd never been in before.
Welcome back. 2-1 is his record, an ERA over 4, no saves, hard throwing right-hander, former Minnesota Twin pitcher. Pitched for a while over in Japan, and now he's back with the Mets. 2 on, 2 out. Posada, strike 1. Pat Mahomes had a personal 12-game winning streak snapped earlier this season out in San Diego. 12-game winning streak, which covered 3-4 years. It included the time that he spent in Japan away from the major leagues here in the States. And obviously in Canada, 1 ball, 1 strike. And when he lost that game out in San Diego, it dawned on him, he said, it's been a long time since I've lost a game, and it had been years. And in relief, he was tagged with a loss. 2 on, 2 out, 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-1 on Posada.
Mahomes, a very resilient pitcher. As you look at the runners, Williams on at second, Tino Martinez on at first. He has started 3 games this year for the Mets. No starts last year, 39 appearances. He's a very, very valuable man to the Mets, much like Ramiro Mendoza, even though not quite as effective.
That floats in low, and it's 3-1 on Posada.
Uh-oh time for Pat Mahomes.
Spencer on deck. Tie game, 5th inning, 2 on, 2 out. Posada's at 11 home runs. What a rip. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Midway through this game, game 2 of the set, Mets won 12-2 last night. Bobby Jones is gone after pitching 4 2/3 innings. Now watching as Pat Mahomes tries to end a long 5th inning. Runners will go. Driven, hammered, belted, upper deck, 3-run shot, 8-5 Yankees. Spencer takes the ball.
Uh-oh time was 1 pitch later.
We've had 3 lead changes here today already. July 10th, last season at Shea Stadium, there were 5 lead changes. The game came to a close when Matt Franco got the game-winning hit against Mariano Rivera. 8-5 Yankees. 2-2 on Spencer. balls, 2 strikes. 2 out, nobody on. The home run is followed by the walk.
What a force Jorge Posada has become in the Yankee lineup.
It's Posada's 51st start as the Yankees play in their 57th game. Now that gets away from Pratt. Down to second is Spencer with 2 out.
Andy Pettitte stands the chance, if the Mets do not retake the lead or tie the ball game, to win a game similar to the game he won last Sunday in Atlanta when he gave up the 6 earned runs in 6 innings. He's given up 5 in 5 innings today. But I do not think Joe Torre lets him go back out there. We'll see.
Wild pitch by Mahomes to send the runner down to second with 2 out. A home-standing Yankees lead by 3. 2 balls, no strikes on Brocious.
The lead's not the only thing that changes here at Yankee Stadium.
The mood, the cheers. A 2-1 to Brocious. Should end the inning. Turn a long way across, and that'll do it. For the Yankees. 5 runs in the 5th. The crowning blow, a 3-run shot for Posada. His 12th of the year. And the home team leads by 3.
Here, Roger Clemens, a future Hall of Famer, scored last night, and the Mets are, keep in mind, the worst hitting team against left-handers this year. Boy, Bobby Jones must have attacked something. Check that left hand of his. I assume that's not coloring of any kind, but slamming it against something.
Derek Bell is gone. Strikeout number 2 for Andy Pettitte. You would have to believe that that's the result of Jones losing his temper after coming back to the dugout.
Yeah. No, we don't know that, but it certainly looks that way. That is not coloring or dye. That is a bruise and bleeding. Bobby appeared to attack something. You just hope you don't break something in the process. Got to be very frustrating with only 9 starts last year and a handful this year.
He was calm enough to do it with his left hand.
Yeah.
1 ball, no strikes on Alfonso. 1 out, nobody on, and a breaking ball is low. 2-0. Free agent to be. He's now winding down his time with the Mets the way he had hoped. Two and one on Alfonso. Alfonso pops it up into shallow center. Out goes Delgado. 2 out here in the 6th inning. We were 5-5 moments ago. It is 5-5 in Ohio. Back to Keith Olbermann in the Fox Television Center.
For those of you who don't like home runs, Joe, more home runs. Travis Fryman already hit 1, hits 1 even farther in the 6th inning against the Reds. And then Russell Branyan, in his 14th at bat of the season, hits his 4th home run. Back-to-back, any similarity to the name Paul Bunyan is purely coincidental. And now bottom 6. Yep.
All right, Keith, so 5-5 there. Last report, the White Sox and Cubs were tied 2-2. Here it's 8-5, the Yankees lead. And Piazza taking all the way. He takes a strike. He's hit 16, including his grand slam last night. A hit, a walk today. He scored a run. White Sox, we understand, are up 4-2 over the Cubs. To the left side, Brocious cuts it off. Now it's an easy play, and the Mets go 1-2-3. Pettit goes back out, goes through Bell, Alfonso, and Piazza. Ventura to come up with it, but it dropped untouched.
Yeah, the ball did not have a lot of hang time, and Kurt didn't have a chance to get over under it.
Ray Ordonez, they miss him on a day-to-day basis. The defense at short. He is out because of this May 29th injury down at second base. F.B. Santangelo running, and he broke his left forearm trying to apply the tag. Delgado's gone anyway. The Mets are hoping that they get Ordonez back around the All-Star break, either right before or right after. But he's having a tough time just gripping objects with his index finger and his thumb under the cast. Next week on Fox Saturday Baseball, AL Central rivals meet as Jim Thome and the Indians take on the Tigers, or other regional action. Coverage begins with This Week in Baseball, 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central on Fox. First strikeout for Mahomes as he gets Delgado, and he's out in front on Leday. 0 for 3 with a run scored. Strike 2. Ricky Leday calls time, and he's granted time by the home plate umpire Marty Foster. Now the 0-2 from Mahomes. You have to wonder, like Mets fans and like the individual has to wonder about the future of Bobby Jones in the rotation for the Mets. Not good as last time, no good here today. Doesn't have very much velocity. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It does take some time after shoulder problems to build back the strength in a shoulder like that, but the Mets can ill afford the luxury of taking the time and running him back out there until his arm is healthy.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Leday. 1 out, nobody on. Ricky is gone over the outside corner. Back-to-back strikeouts, 2 away.
Leday taking this fastball, and it was a strike. Front corner, even though Pratt caught it outside.
One option if they wanted to call somebody in from the bullpen to start is this guy, Mahomes. The problem is he gives you so much versatility in your bullpen. You're probably less inclined to do it. They traded away Bill Pulsifer recently to the Arizona Diamondbacks to get Lenny Harris to bolster their bench. Ball 1 to Jeter. So their options are somewhat limited with, that's great. Okay, Jones isn't pitching well, but now who do you want in the rotation? And Bobby Valentine does not want to go to a 4-man rotation. That's hooking down the line, foul. Ball on straight. Delgado struck out. Leday struck out. It's a 1-1 count on Jeter. On the outside corner, 93 miles per hour. Strike 2, and Mahomes could strike out the side.
Jeter was called out his last time up. There is no way that Derek Jeter will be called out. He may strike out swinging, but he will not be called out.
Instead, he flies into deep right center field. Back is Payton at the wall. Goodbye. Derek Jeter hits his 5th, and the Yankees lead by 4.
Instead of getting a no-ball, 2-strike pitch, Derek Jeter, in effect, got a 2-ball, no-strike pitch right down the pipe.
Paul O'Neill takes ball one.
We talked about it earlier. Not every pitch that's hit out of the ballpark is a mistake, but that certainly was from Mahomes.
O'Neill, who is homered, driven in a run with a 2-out RBI double last inning, bats with a 1-0 pitch coming his way. 2-0. The Indians have taken a 6-5 lead over the Reds. White Sox up 4-2 over Kerry Wood and the Cubs. Dennis Cook getting loose for the Mets out in their bullpen. A 2-1 pitch. 3 balls and a strike, and Bernie Williams waiting on deck. No shortage of action. Three lead changes, and the Yankees looking down on the Mets right now, up 9-5 as O'Neill takes ball 4, a 2-out walk, and that's the second walk handed out by Mahomes. Bernie Williams now. Williams an RBI double, a run scored in the first, struck out in the third, an RBI single and a run scored in the fifth. And he did it both times with a hit, floating one the opposite way. 11 of his last 23 is Bernie Williams.
That's been a trademark of this Yankee team for the last 4+ years, to win games that they should win and win games that they have to win. Of course, 2 years ago, they won 114 regular season games. Not a lot of have-to wins, but we said on the opening, Joe, that this game, as much as you could say it, is a must for the Yankees. We still feel that way.
And they're up 9-5 through 6. 7th inning now. Fox Sports, home of the 2000 World Series, returns to Yankee Stadium after a break. From your local Fox station. Jay Payton, Robin Ventura, homer for the Mets early. The Yankees 3, 4, and 5 hitters, 6 out of 10 with 5 RBIs. They were right in the middle of a 5-run fifth, and Andy Pettitte looking for his 4th straight win. He's been good enough. The breaking ball is in for a strike to Zeal with Ventura and Payton to follow. For the Mets, who trail by 4 now after the Jeter home run. 9-5, the Yankees lead. And Pettitte trying to find his groove. He went through Bell, Alfonso, and Piazza last inning, and he's retired 4 in a row.
Only the second time the Mets have been retired in order in the last couple of ball games, but a big inning for Andy Pettitte. Once the Yankees scored 5, he came out and shut the Mets down.
That's into left center field. Well hit. Leday back at the track at the wall. 1 away. 399 feet away off the bat of Zeal.
You could see Leday looking up at the sun, pointing at the sun, staring into the sun, looking at the wall, hand out to make the play.
Pettitte relieved as that fell in the glove of Ricky Leday, and now with 1 out, Robin Ventura. Been on base twice today. Could very well be 2 for 3, but a ball that he hit to first off the glove of Martinez ruled an error last time up. He has a 2-run home run. The 1-0. Into center field, went after a high delivery, and Bernie Williams shading his eyes, 2 gone.
much is made and on a day like today, as you see Bernie Williams also checking the sun, about the fatigue of a pitcher. Well, think about the fatigue of the hitters. The hitters played last night. Some of these guys, this is their 7th, 8th at bat. A guy like Mike Piazza caught 7 innings last night. Andy Pettit has thrown 123 pitches, but he didn't play last night.
2 out, bases empty. Jay Payton goes up there hammering at the first pitch. Flies to center. And pitch number 124 on the day closes out the top of the 7th. That's doing. It's the bottom of the 7th inning. And aerial footage of today's game is proudly provided by Budweiser's Bud One Airship, high above New York. Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning here at Yankee Stadium. And it's the 3rd pitcher of the afternoon, Dennis Cook, 5-2, one of the 3 left-handers in the Mets bullpen.
Such an entertaining time when these two teams get together. Usually the performances meet the expectations. A lot of times in baseball, expectations of good games against teams, but almost always exciting between these two ball clubs.
I refer you to last week's game between Greg Maddux and Roger Clemens in Atlanta. Tonight, catch the show where TV meets the streets. Cops. Then it's the game show that's a global phenomenon. With $1 million jackpot, it's your chance of a lifetime. It all starts tonight at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here on Fox. Bottom of the 7th inning, Tino Martinez, then Jorge Posada and Shane Spencer against Dennis Cook. Martinez today, 2 out of 3. 9-5, the Yankees out in front. Yankees have scored 6 unanswered runs. Ball 1 from Cook to Martinez. Lofton hits a home run. That's what puts Cleveland out in front. Sosa 3 strikeouts today. 2 balls, no strikes. Cook falls behind Martinez 2-0. Is he hammering? Good pitch. Outside corner, strike 1. Up the middle, base hit.
Before the Yankees' last road trip to Atlanta and Montreal, Joe Torre said, we've got to get our first baseman going. And boy, has he been going over the last 9 days. And that's how you get going. You hit the ball back through the middle. Almost every hitter, when they go into a slump, pull that front side. That is the most common thing that hitters do. And the best way to cure that is to try to hit the ball back through the middle. A lot of hitters don't give their hands enough credit for being fast enough.
He went 65 at bats without a home run, broke that streak. He now has an 11-game hitting streak alive with his work today, and he's 3 out of 4. Here's Posada. How about the 5th? 2 on, new pitcher. And a blast off the bat of Posada. 3-run shot, made it 8-5. It's now 9-5. That, to this point, is the single highlight, which is what is a crowning blow on this afternoon so far. A lot of baseball left. 1 ball, 1 strike. Paul O'Neill on the dugout bench for the Yankees, who have won 32 games on the year. The Mets have won 34. That is hammered fair down the left field line. Ground rule double. And it's 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. Another extra base hit for Posada.
This is unofficial, but Yankee Stadium perhaps Boston have to lead the majors in ground rule doubles. I thought this ball was going to be foul. I didn't think there was any way for Posada to hit it that hard. Good part of the bat. But that left field fence comes in on fielders in a hurry. That ball hopping and skipping into the stands.
Now Shane Spencer. Well, they bring the left-hander in, the Mets do, to counteract Martinez and turn Posada around and make him bat right-handed. He gives up a single and a double.
Infield for the Mets are back now. They'll probably come in with the pitch.
Here they come on pitch one, and Spencer shoots the gap in left center field. By the time the ball stops rolling, it'll be 11-5 Yankees on a two-run double by Shane Spencer. The Mets put up 12 runs on the board last night, and with this double and the 2 runs crossing the plate, the Yankees have now put up 11.
RBIs number 26 and 7 for Shane Spencer.
The frustration meter is low down in Tampa. Roches fouls it back. George Steinbrenner splits time between here and there down in Tampa. He's been frustrated with the way his team has played to this point. They're still in first place. Lost last night 12-2, lead today 11-5. Roches, runner at second, still nobody out. And a ball and a strike from Cook. A little floater, shallow right. Zeal can't get there. Another run will score. There's your 12 for the Yankees. They're up 12-5. 4 consecutive hits against Dennis Cook, and a smile on the face of Roches, who didn't get much of it, but got enough.
A perfectly apt description of this hit. A floater. Cook makes his pitch, but Roches gets his hit. Now the Yankees have scored as many today as the Mets did last night.
Wilson Delgado takes a strike. Cook's troubles continue as Rich Rodriguez, a left-hander, gets loose for the Mets in their bullpen. Rodriguez and Wendell worked the last 2 innings here last night. Out in front is Delgado, strike 2. In the 8th for the Mets, it'll be Pratt, Abbott, and Tyner. Before the season started in spring training, the Mets were just loaded with left-handed pitching. They had the 3 they have now, plus they had Pulsifer, plus they had the other Bobby Jones, plus they had Jesse Orosco. Lyndon Rush was fighting for a spot. He ends up in the rotation. Delgado's gone 1 away. The Mets traded Jesse Orosco to the Cardinals in spring training and got Joe McEwing, a very valuable utility player. Orosco injured his elbow, went on the disabled list for the first time this season. Now he's active and back in the bullpen for the Cardinals. So when they say there's a dearth of left-handed pitching around Major League Baseball, this spring the Mets had hoarded all of it. 1 on, 1 out. Lede strike one. Leday is the only Yankee not in on the fun. He's hitless. Everyone else in this Yankee lineup has at least one hit. From the side, 88 miles per hour, 1 ball, 1 strike. One on, one out. Off the end of the bat, shallow left. Out goes Abbott, out goes Ventura. It's Ventura with a basket catch in foul territory. There is a lot of wind with which to deal. When the flags are starched. And the wind played with that foul ball off the bat of Ricky Leday. We understand the former Chicago White Sox outfielder Sammy Sosa is about to walk to the plate at New Comiskey.
He did.
A scoring opportunity for the Cubs. We take you to Comiskey for the Cubs and White Sox. We'll monitor this game. Check out that game.
Cubs and the White Sox at Comiskey. Sellout crowd. They've been giving it to Sammy Sosa all day. Sammy, 8 strikeouts in 9 at-bats in this series. It's a 4-3 game. The White Sox are leading the Cubs. Runners at the corners, 2 out. Sean Lowe has been summoned from the bullpen. Lowe came on yesterday. Sosa took a called 3rd strike, one of his 5 strikeouts in last night's game. Strike 1, outside corner.
That's a great pitch. That's exactly where they've been getting Sammy Sosa out this whole series. They've been painting the outside corner with fastballs and sliders, and that's why Sammy has struck out 8 times. Sean Lowe is a classic sinker slider pitcher. That was paint.
Sammy Sosa, a very rough week, at war with his manager Don Baylor. Fouls it down the first baseline, out of play, 0-2. You got the columnists getting on Sammy now. You've got the talk show guys getting on Sammy now. And for the first time in a long time, even some Cub fans getting on Sammy now. He's trying to shut up this crowd on an 0-2 count. Sean Lowe hits the pause button. Sammy Sosa backs out. Sosa does have 19 home runs this year. He is 3 RBI shy of 1,000 of those for his career. And a 3-run home run right here might set off some interesting things in the stands. The Cubs and the White Sox fans have been giving it to each other all afternoon.
Well, there's a little disagreement between Fordyce and Lowe on what to throw. Looked like Fordyce was setting up inside. He wanted to go into the hands of Sammy, but they've been getting him out of the way the whole time. There he is. He got the call. Fordyce got the call here.
Look out! How about that? Mark Grace picked off. Sosa left with the bat in his hands, and the White Sox out of the inning.
What a way for that inning to end. The inning won't end here for Dennis Cook. He is allowed 6 hits. Let down. The starter, Bobby Jones, struggled. And now it's Rich Rodriguez, the 4th pitcher of the day for New York.
Big 3-run home run by Jorge Posada, but keep in mind, Paul O'Neill tied it with a home run as you look at Jeff Nelson. Paul tying it with the home run in the 3rd inning. And then after a double to drive in the 4th run, he scored the tying run of the ball game. So Paul O'Neill with 3 hits, a single, a double, and a home run. Very much involved in those 13 runs the Yankees have put on the board.
2 on, 2 out. Williams out in front, strike 1. It appears Pettit is finished. He went 7 today. 124 pitch afternoon if he is finished. He pitched well enough. 5 runs, 7 hits, 4 walks, one of them intentional walk, and 2 strikeouts. Rich Rodriguez facing the 9th man to bat in the inning for the Yankees. Strike 2. Mets pitching today surrendered 13 runs on 17 hits. The 0-2 to Williams. Rich Rodriguez has bounced around, a valuable member of the bullpen out in San Francisco for Dusty Baker. Signed on with the Mets. Here's his 0-2 to Bernie Williams. 2 on, 2 out. Ball 1.
That's when things are going wrong with your career, when a team moves out of Candlestick Park and then you get traded.
He and the rest of the Giants were counting down the days until they moved into Pac Bell Park, and he wasn't one of them who needed to send out a change of address card in San Francisco. Instead, he ends up in New York with the Mets. 5th major league franchise he's been with. The 1-2 to Williams is grounded to the left side. In the hole, Abbott. What a play. Oh, my Kurt Abbott, an unbelievable play to get Bernie Williams by half a step. A dig by Seal on the other end.
Watch this.
How did he get enough on the throw to get Williams? He did.
Next closest team, the Montreal Expos, with 14. The lowest earned run average for a bullpen in the major leagues. And Joe Torre, thankful for that bullpen, and he has used it very, very well all season long. Rivera, Nelson, Stanton, and Grimsley.
They have others, but these are the primary players. And the stats you see, the 12-3 record, the ERA of 2.78, 15 saves, and the 6 home runs allowed. Breaking ball. There's a knee buckling pitch to Todd Pratt. Ball 1. It'll be Pratt. Then a pinch hitter, Abbott. Or rather, pinch hitter for Abbott, Franco. Pratt went around, a ball and a strike, and back to the top, and Jason Tyner.
Joe, there are a lot of great stories about both ball clubs. See Matt Franco on deck. He'll be the pinch hitter for Kurt Abbott. None more compelling than Todd Pratt, member of the 1993 National League champion Philadelphia Phillies. He played behind Darren Dalton that year. And then a couple of years later, he was flipping pizzas down in Florida. Laid out the 1996 season after being released by Seattle. Called the Mets, hooked on, and one of the biggest home runs in postseason history last year against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
It was into center. This certainly won't carry like that one did. And Delgado's out to make the catch on a windy afternoon in the Bronx. I want to hear an explanation for Mark Grace getting picked off at first. Let's go to Keith Olbermann in the Fox Television Center.
Well, Joe, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Here's what happened. He picked him off first base. He did a real nice job, Sean Lowe did. The tying run picked off first with Sosa at bat. Does that explain things to your satisfaction, Mr. Buck?
That was fantastic. I'll say one thing. Lowe came very close to balking.
Yep.
And I've seen that call before, because if you're on the mound and you have that first and third, step to third, look to first move, you have to definitively step toward third. And Lowe was about halfway over toward third base. They could have called a balk on that. It's a one-run game. That would have been some call, but it was very close. Matt Franco now, pinch hitting, takes 2 strikes, and he's in the hole 0-2.
On the other hand, it's very difficult to explain being picked off when you're the runner at first. There's a run. The tying run's on at third with Sammy Sosa, the batter.
Oh, yeah, you can't do it.
Yeah,
but
right.
That definitely could have been called. The 0-2. 1 out, nobody on. Off the end of the bat, floating into left center field. Leday, a nice running catch. Boy, that ball stayed in the air a long time. 2 out.
Left-hander hit it, and Ricky Leday knows the ball's going to come back to him. Stayed with it long enough to make the play.
Base is empty for Jason Tyner, who's hitless today. 0 for 3, plus a sacrifice bunt, which, thanks to the official scorer, Wasn't just a 1-3 putout with no sacrifice attached to it. Hitting .250 in the big leagues now. He takes a strike in at the knees from Nelson.
Joe Torre has said that you need a guy who can play center field, who is not your prototypical left fielder, a guy who covers a lot of ground, and Leday does that.
No balls, 2 strikes on Tyner. Just got a piece. Benitez getting loose. They might just get him an inning in the bottom of the 8th. To tune him up for what they hope will be a save situation tomorrow night. With Mike Hampton 6-5 takes on David Cone 1-6. Boy, won't that be a big start for Cone and the Yankees. That's down the left field line and fair. Into the corner. And now into the seats for a ground rule double. So Tyner gets his first hit. And the batter will be Derek Bell.
Jason Tyner is this type of hitter. His natural stroke is the other way. First round draft choice by the Mets. He never had a home run in college. He played at Texas A&M for 3 years. Comparing his first time at Yankee Stadium to the Texas A&M Texas games. And who does he face his first night? Roger Clemens, University of Texas alum.
So then you have to go back to high school to find the last time he homered, because he's not homered in professional baseball.
Right.
Pitch up and in to Derek Bell. A .297 hitter, 8 home runs, 31 RBI. Hitless today after going 3 for 4 last night. Devastating slider. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Now that's why baseball observers have to be a little more cautious when a hitter is 4 for 52 and he has a good game and everybody jumps to the conclusion that you're out of the slump. Not necessarily so. You don't go into a slump in one day and you don't get out of it in one day.
Maybe it's more telling of the kind of stuff that Roger Clemens had here last night.
Perhaps.
For Derek Bell.
Perhaps.
Figuring out what was ailing him at the plate. 2 balls and a strike. Now 2-2 on Bell. Runner at second, 2 out. We're going to head back to Comiskey Park. Cubs, White Sox. Lewin, Kennedy, take it away.
Josh Lewin with Kevin Kennedy, a 4-3 lead for the South Side over the North Side. And Sammy Sosa on a very hot and humid weekend. He's been, well, shall we say, creating a nice cool breeze with that bat. He has struck out 8 times. In 9 at-bats. He was at the plate when Mark Grace was picked off to end the threat in the top of the 8th inning, and now he draws the closer, off of whom he homered last night. This is Keith Polk. On appeal, no swing, says Paul Emmel down at first.
Noticing right away, Polk goes inside on Sammy Sosa. First pitch fastball. The whole series, the 8 strikeouts. Every pitcher that's thrown against Sammy is thrown away. Now, Folks out pitch. You got a great changeup. Trying to set that up by throwing the fastball in.
Polk with the best ERA of any reliever in the American League, 1.58. Ballooning up there after last night. He goes 2-0 on Sosa, who was the man who pumped that ERA up towards 1.6 from 0.9.
Polk has 13 saves, only 2 blown, 1 last night. That last pitch, a flat slider. That's not the pitch you want to throw to Sosa.
Again, the blown save, a home run hit to tie it by Sosa. 2-1.
There's that outside corner we're talking about. Sammy has not been able to make an adjustment so far in this series on the outside pitch. He's been pulling off the ball. We'll see if he goes to his changeup now. 2-1 count. Or stays away with the fastball.
You're going to hear the wind howling here at Comiskey. It's been swirling throughout the afternoon. To right field, and Ordonez moving over. He's got it for the first out in the ninth.
Well, Keith Folks stayed with the fastball and had good location, and Sammy finally makes an adjustment because that's all he's seen.
Well, that's it for the Chicago Cubs with regard to Sosa. Armando Benitez takes over, and as we mentioned last half inning, he is in to get a little work in with the hope that tomorrow night there is a save situation. A record of 1-2, an ERA of 3.82, and 15 saves. New shortstop in the game is Melvin Mora. They pinch hit for Abbott, the Mets did. So Mora takes over at short. Tim, it's been said, it was said by Steve Lyons on our pregame show, that Sammy Sosa is the kind of name that maybe the Yankees will go after. It's been mentioned he's a marquee name. He signed through 2001. The Cubs have said they don't want to go into next season in the same situation the Mariners are in with Alex Rodriguez, with his contract due to expire at the end of that year. And there is some speculation that either with the Mets or with the Yankees, Sosa could end up out of Chicago and in New York.
Normally you don't pay any attention to those rumors. Rumors like that are flying around all the time. There's Brian Cashman, the general manager of the Yankees, and a fine one he is. Now, normally, as you see Melvin Mora replacing Kurt Abbott.
First pitch swinging. Martinez grounds to Zeal and will take it himself.
Normally things like that are just rumors. However, as you look at the numbers for Sammy Sosa, impressive. They always are and have been for the last 5 years. I think what adds grist to those rumors is the fact that this week there was a confrontation with Don Baylor. I agree with Steve that should have been handled in the clubhouse, but there are some things that happen between a manager and a player you can't keep quiet.
Here's Posada, who's had a big day.
That adds a little bit more to the rumors of going someplace, either the Mets or the Yankees being two teams, number one, that can afford Sosa.
Not much there toward the end of the bat. Alfonso makes the play. Posada's gone, and there are two quick outs here in the 8th inning. We'll give you today's Napa Auto Parts home run update. You see the name of McGuire, not only third on the list, but tied for third with Carl Everett of the Red Sox. Barry Bonds is at 25. And Carlos Delgado of the Toronto Blue Jays with 23. On down the list, Finley with 20, Giambi, Rodriguez, and Sosa on the list. Our Napa Auto Parts home run update. 2 out, nobody on. 96 miles per hour with ball 1 to Shane Spencer.
The Toronto Blue Jays, a very dangerous club in the American League East, only 3 games back.
A squirter to second, picked up by Alfonso, and that's the way Benitez and the Mets like him. 1, 2, 3. We welcome you back 1,000 feet above Yankee Stadium as the Bud One airship, providing baseball fans with live shots all afternoon. Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. And we move to the 9th inning. A new pitcher for the Yankees, getting plenty of work. Great numbers, Jason Grimsley.
Plenty of work from the bullpen. And enough work as a starter. He has started twice in the last 2 weeks. His first start, an emergency start 2 weeks ago when Orlando Hernandez, El Duque, was scratched. And he has done very, very well, winning 2 as a starter for the Yankees.
Edgardo Alfonso first up with Piazza and Zeal to follow. Here in the 9th inning with the Mets trailing by 8. First pitch of the afternoon from Grimsley. Sails up and in. One ball, no strikes. Alfonso leading off. Takes a strike, 1-1. David Cohn, I'm sure, wondering what tomorrow will bring on the mound against the Mets, his former team. 2 balls and a strike on Alfonso from Grimswood. We talked earlier as we welcomed you to Yankee Stadium about the importance of this game for the New York Yankees. That's into right field. Should be handled by Spencer. With David Cohn going tomorrow night, a record of 1-6. They're getting what they need. Today's American General play of the day. The 3-run blast by Jorge Posada. Took it from a 5-5 game to an 8-5 game Yankees in the 5th, and they haven't looked back. Posada, so vitally important to this Yankee lineup. But we talked about today, Pettit went 7 strong, 124 pitches, at times struggled, but was good enough to get through it. 5 runs, 7 hits. The bullpen has done its job, and the Yankee bats have done their job against the Mets pitching. And they did beat that struggling right-hander in Bobby Jones when they went to work. 2 in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd, 5 in the 5th. They also added a run in the 6th and 4 in the 7th. A 1-0 to Piazza. That is hammered into left center field, but it's going to hang up. He just got it. Just missed it, and back is Leday. Big swing by Piazza. And just didn't get all of it. Leday, a little smile back toward the infield. Look at this swing.
I don't know if on a normal day that ball would have been out, but when the flag is blowing out here at Yankee Stadium, the wind is blowing in. And the flag blowing out, well, it's swirling right now. But for the most part, the flags are looking like they're blowing out. But I think that wind held that ball up somewhat.
Here's Seal now. Last chance for the Mets. Takes the ball low and away. Talked earlier that the Yankees, most of them, deny that this interleague matchup with the Mets is anything more special or different than a regular season game. There's somebody watching down in Tampa who cares very much about this interleague series and matchup. A 12-2 loss by the Yankees last night, a 13-5 lead the next day. And a strike, and the Mets are down to their final strike. The Yankee fans remain. The Mets fans have left. A 1-2. Grimsley kind of adopted the same stretch and motion to the plate as Nelson to a lesser degree, but he's got nasty stuff. Gets it up there at above 90. The 2-2. Breaking ball. Game over. Yankees win a game they needed to win. 13-5. We'll take a break. Come back. Yankees today. Right now, a game up on Boston in the AL East. Back in a moment.
Baseball fans first met Gil Hodges as a standout first baseman for the Brooklyn Dodgers, who ended his stellar playing career in 1963 as a member of the Mets. He returned to New York on October 11th of 1967 when he was named the 4th manager in Mets history, taking over a team that finished last in the National League. 2 years later, the Mets are on top of the baseball world as Hodges led a young team to 100 wins and a world championship. That showdown with Baltimore in the World Series, including many highlights, among them the famous shoe polish incident when Gil appeared from the dugout with a shoe polish marked ball which proved that Cleon Jones had been hit by a pitch. He and his wife Joan were part of the joyous ticker tape parade that fall, but tragically he managed just 2 more seasons before suffering a fatal heart attack on the eve of the 72 season. Tom Seaver remembers Hodges.
Through the course of my career, there was nobody on a professional level more important than Gil Hodges. I mean, he came to me in the phase of my career that was extreme and beneficial, and he was a great learning tool for me. He taught me how to be a professional, how you conduct yourself as a professional, go about your business. I mean, he put the final touches on it, if you will, as far as what he meant. Obviously, the 1969 World Championship team, he was the pillar of strength right in the middle of it all. And no matter how bad things got, you knew there was always Gil, and he wouldn't let things implode. I mean, he was always going to be that one pillar of strength that when you needed it, you know, you could latch on to him and for a moment, for a day, for a week, or whatever, and you just emotionally latch onto it, and it would carry on and give you strength.
New York fans knew about Ed Kranepool before he ever played in the majors. A standout slugger for James Monroe High School in Brooklyn, Kranepool was a member of the original '62 Mets. Although he represented the Mets at the '65 All-Star Game and led the club with home runs in 1966, Kranepool never became the drawing card power hitter that the Mets had hoped for. Still, he was New York's very own and played for 18 seasons, appearing in more games in a Mets uniform than anyone in club history. Near the end of his career, Kranepool became a productive pinch hitter and remains the team's all-time leader in career pinch hits. The kid from Brooklyn finally called it quits in 1979. John Stearns was a teammate, and he recalls Steady Eddie.
Crane was a professional hitter and a guy, when I came to the Mets, he was a guy that didn't play every day, but he played a lot. He played at first base and some of the outfield. We had John Milner at first base when I came, so John was playing a lot at first, and Eddie gave you a professional at-bat off the bench. He was really a pro. He was only about 30 when I got there, but he'd already been in the big leagues about 12 years, so you know, he helped me. I was a rookie, and he showed me some of the ropes around the league and how to go about my business and what I needed to do, not playing every day to stay ready and stay in shape and things like that.